Welcome to Catholic Shrine Basilica YouTube channel. The Basilica of Saint Mary, Minneapolis, Minnesota, United States. Introduction. The Basilica of Saint Mary is a Roman Catholic minor basilica located on its own city block, along Hennepin Avenue between 16th and 17th Streets in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was the first basilica established in the United States. The Basilica of Saint Mary is the co-cathedral of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of St. Paul, and Minneapolis is one of the finest examples of Beaux-Arts architecture in the country. The Basilica of Saint Mary replaced a previous church, the Church of the Immaculate Conception. The building was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1975. Its significance is due to three reasons: its excellent architecture and engineering design, as an expression of Baroque influence in church architecture, an example of the history of religious movements in Minnesota, and its place as the first basilica in the United States. The foundation of the church is of Rockville granite. The walls are built of white Vermont granite, with a height of 70 feet from the floor to the eave line. The main entrance is a colonnaded portico with two 116-foot spires on each side. The nave is lighted by 5 large arched stained glass windows. The nave has a barrel vault of 82 feet, exceeding that of the St. Peter's Basilica by 2 feet. The sanctuary, at the north end of the nave, is topped with a grand dome measuring 40 feet square at the base and rising 138 feet above the floor. Our church was commissioned by Archbishop Ireland, 1838 to 1918, and designed by French architect Emmanuel Masqueray, 1861 to 1917, in a Beaux-Arts style. It was intended to house the relocated parish of the Immaculate Conception, founded in 1868. The building was constructed between 1907 to 1915. Interior work, begun in 1922, was near completion when Pope Pius XI named the church the first basilica in the United States on February 1, 1926. A place of worship, a place of refuge, a place of peace. More than just a beautiful building, the Basilica of Saint Mary is a gathering place of rich diversity. It's a center for the arts and a place of refuge for people in need. It's a community committed to the growth and well-being of the city. Together, we celebrate weddings, baptisms and funerals, Christmas and Easter, and weekend Eucharist. With over 6,700 households, the Basilica has an active vision for social outreach. St. Vincent de Paul Society offers compassionate assistance for basic needs since 1988. The Basilica offer mentoring, direct service, employment support and partner with community nonprofits. Relationship support is offered to strengthen stability in life through Pathways Life Skills. John XXIII Art Gallery features local, national and international artists' work, and music is available to all through our Spirit and Soul celebration of Black History Month, the Minnesota Symphonia, the Singers, the Rose Ensemble and others who offer free and low-cost concerts. History. The Basilica of Saint Mary replaced a previous church, the Church of the Immaculate Conception. It was originally built in 1871, located at 3rd Street and 3rd Avenue North, but the expanding warehouse district was engulfing the church property. Archbishop John Ireland announced plans for a new Church of the Immaculate Conception on Christmas Day, 1903. In 1905, Lawrence S. Donaldson donated a 1-block parcel on Hennepin Avenue near Loring Park for the new church buildings. The design was awarded to Franco-American architect Emmanuel Louis Masqueray, the designer of the Cathedral of St. Paul. Masqueray designed it in a Beaux-Arts style. The groundbreaking was held on August 7, 1907, with foundation construction continuing through May 1908. The cornerstone was laid on May 31, 1908, with a ceremony involving 30,000 Catholics, 20 bishops, 300 priests and seminarians from the St. Paul Seminary, and 500 cadets from the College of St. Thomas. As construction on the Basilica and the St. Paul Cathedral progressed, Masqueray's architectural genius attracted attention. American Architect magazine commented, "The two Catholic cathedrals will be, when completed, noteworthy achievements in church building for any period. In extent and splendor they promise to surpass anything yet attempted in ecclesiastical work in the United States." Civic dedication of the church took place on November 4, 1913, and the church was informally opened on May 31, 1914. It was informally referred to as the pro-cathedral of the Archdiocese from its beginning, but the parish was still officially named the Church of the Immaculate Conception until September 21, 1921. It was formally named the Pro-Cathedral of Saint Mary at that time. Although the building was open for worship in 1914, the interior decoration, windows, and plaster work were not completed until 1925. It was established as a minor basilica by Pope Pius XI in 1926, making it the first basilica in the United States. In 1941 the basilica was formally consecrated by Archbishop Dennis Doherty of Philadelphia as part of the 9th National Eucharistic Congress, which was taking place in Minneapolis and St. Paul at the time. Architecture. Architectural style, neoclassical architecture. The building was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1975. Its significance is due to three reasons: its excellent architecture and engineering design, as an expression of Baroque influence in church architecture, an example of the history of religious movements in Minnesota, and its place as the first basilica in the United States. The foundation of the church is of Rockville granite. The walls are built of white Vermont granite, with a height of 70 feet, 21 meters, from the floor to the eave line. The main entrance is a colonnaded portico with two 116-foot, 35 meters, spires on each side. The nave is lighted by 5 large arched stained glass windows. The nave has a barrel vault of 82 feet, 25 meters, exceeding that of the St. Peter's Basilica by 2 feet. The sanctuary, at the north end of the nave, is topped with a grand dome measuring 40 square feet, 3.7 meters, at the base and rising 138 feet, 42 meters, above the floor. Above the dome is a flesh or lantern topped with a bronze cross, measuring another 62 feet, 19 meters, making the total height 200 feet, 61 meters, above floor level. The marble altar is located underneath a 50-foot high, 15 meters, marble columned baldacchino. In 1991 its old copper roof was replaced, stopping the water leaks and damage that were occurring. In 2011, after being named one of 25 Twin City finalists, the building was the recipient of a $100,000 preservation grant from Partners in Preservation. Chosen through a public vote, the funds were used to repair the narthex and sacristy of the basilica, and help restore the paint and gold leaf found throughout the structure. The basilica received minor fire damage during the rioting that accompanied the 2020 George Floyd protests in Minneapolis-St. Paul, with 2 pews being splashed with flammable liquid and burned. Mary, Mother of God. As the mother of Jesus, Mary accompanied him on his earthly journey, even unto the cross. There Jesus shared his mother with all of us, so she became our mother. As a mother, Mary has appeared throughout the ages to people who were in need of comfort or correction. Some of the basilica's shrines dedicated to Mary relate to her being the Mother of God, others to her being our mother. When the Irish and Italian immigrant founders of the parish moved into the basilica, they brought with them Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. Today, our community is much more diverse. The images of Mary are representative of her many apparitions throughout the world, often in the image of the people to whom she appeared. Stained glass windows, art inspired by faith and glowing with light. Since the 10th century, stained glass has been an integral part of church architecture. The idea that God is divine light, filtered through colored and painted glass, brings a special aura to the activities held within it. In addition, the vast expanses of the windows have provided a grand canvas for the depiction of the Christian narrative. The basilica windows were designed, executed and installed by Thomas J. Gaiety Studios of Minneapolis. Thomas Gaiety worked under Louis Comfort Tiffany in New York. He originally came to Minneapolis as a salesperson for Tiffany. By 1918 he worked for the Minneapolis-based Ford MC Nut Glass Company. When the company was discontinued, Gaiety bought their stained glass materials and started his own company. In 1924 he completed a first set of windows for the basilica, including the windows in the dome. In 1925 he began work on all the other windows, which he completed by 1926. Though Gaiety Studios has changed hands twice, the company is still in existence. They continue to care for the basilica windows when needed. Most recently they restored all the windows in the sacristy. High altar. The marble altar and baldachin, the canopy over the altar, were designed by Boston architects McGuinness and Walsh, and handcrafted at the Benziger Brothers Studios in Pietrasanta, Italy. Monsignor Reardon describes his vision for the altar in his History of the Basilica. In finishing the church, the major problem was, of course, the main altar. On its solution everything else depended, for the altar would give meaning and tone to all the rest. For that, the finest marble that money could procure must be available, and the most skillful sculptors commissioned to chisel it into life. The altar must be one of the finest in America in material, design and workmanship. Wrought iron grille. The elaborate wrought iron grille surrounding the sanctuary was fabricated by the Flower City Ornamental Iron Company of Minneapolis. It contains symbols and stories of the life of Mary. The Cipollino marble pillars supporting the grillework were imported from Italy. Statues of the Apostles. The marble statues surrounding the sanctuary depict the Apostles. Carved in Italy, they are half-size copies of those in St. John Lateran, Cathedral of Rome. Music. The Basilica Cathedral Choir. The Basilica Cathedral Choir, a 90-voice auditioned, volunteer choir, provides choral music on Sunday for the 9:30 a.m. Mass as well as on holy days of obligation. The Basilica Cathedral Choir sings repertoire spanning a wide range of genres and covering many centuries. Music for Vespers, confirmations, and special services is provided by the Schola Cantorum, a 12-voice professional choir. The present basilica organ was installed in 1949 as Wick's Opus No. 3047. The instrument includes several stops that were scaled and designed by Henry Vincent Willis IV of England as one of a few larger Wick's instruments installed throughout the United States in the 1930s and 1940s. After undergoing a complete renovation in winter 2008, including an entirely new relay and console, the organ now consists of 82 ranks on 4 manuals and pedal. The N-chamade herald trumpet is actually tuba scale and modeled after the English Town Hall Willis tubas. Voiced on 25 inches wind, it is the most commanding such stop in the upper Midwest. Since 1996, the basilica has hosted a variety of artists and musical ensembles through its Artist-in-Residence program. As of 2015, the following musical entities were in residence: Director of Music Terry Larson, Composer Donald Kruzbach, the Basilica Brass Ensemble, the Minnesota Symphonia, the Rose Ensemble. The St. Paul Chamber Orchestra also uses the basilica as a venue. The Basilica Organ, the Centennial Organ. The present Basilica organ was installed in 1949 as Wick's Opus 3047 and was formally dedicated to the glory of God on October 15, 1950. Mario Salvador performed the inaugural organ concert to a capacity crowd. Salvador was born in the Dominican Republic and emerged as an internationally known concert organist who also served as organist at the St. Louis Cathedral, St. Louis, Missouri. The October 15th dedicatory concert was televised live on KSTP-TV from the Basilica and was the first remote live television broadcast in the Twin Cities region. The 1950 dedication of the organ coincided with the centennial of the founding of the St. Paul Minneapolis Archdiocese in 1850. The honorary title of Centennial Organ was bestowed upon the basilica's instrument. The basilica organ is one of a few large Wick's organs installed throughout the United States during the 1930s and 1940s with tonal influence from Englishman Henry Vincent Willis. Willis lineage traces back to Father Willis, who remains well regarded in the history of English organ building. Holy Trinity, Jesus Christ and the Great Feasts. Basilica icons. Icons from the Basilica's chapel, displayed in the sanctuary November 2020. The Theophany, Baptism of Jesus. Jesus' baptism by St. John was the beginning of his public ministry, and a manifestation of the Holy Trinity, hence the name Theophany, manifestation of God. Feast Day, Solemnities and Feasts of Mary. Mary, the mother of Jesus, accompanied him throughout his life, to the very end. Standing under the cross, Jesus presented his mother to all of us. Throughout the ages, Mary has shown herself to be a caring mother, appearing to those in need of support, encouragement, or correction. Throughout the liturgical year, we celebrate Mary as the Mother of God and as our Mother. Mass time. Weekdays, 7 a.m. and noon. Saturdays, 5 p.m. Sundays, 7:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m., 5 p.m. Church visiting time. Weekdays, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Other facilities. Cowley Center. The Cowley Center was designed in 1966 by the architectural firm Voigt and Ferré as a residence for the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, who provided instruction at the Basilica School. Unfortunately, the sisters withdrew from teaching at the school a few years later, and the school was closed in 1975. The convent building was leased to various businesses until 1991. In 1993, the building was dedicated to Bishop Leonard P. Cowley, 6th rector of the Basilica, and reclaimed by the Basilica as offices for the Development Department and meeting rooms. The statue of Mary, Comfort of the Afflicted between the Cowley Center and the church, was donated by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet in 1993. The statue was previously located at St. Mary's Hospital. Reardon Rectory. The Reardon Rectory was erected in 1927 to 1928 as a residence and business office for the rector and assistant priests of the Basilica. Along with the sacristy, the building was designed by St. Paul architects Slifer and Abramson. It replaced two frame houses located on the east side of the church, which served as rectory from 1914 to 1927. The apartments once occupied by young priests and housekeepers have now largely been converted into offices for the administrative, life, learning and liturgy department staff, as well as meeting rooms. In 2013, an exterior elevator tower was constructed to replace the original 1928 elevator and provide access to all 5 floors of the building. In 2015, the 4th floor was remodeled to house our archives and art collection, as well as a consultation room and several offices. The Reardon Rectory is named for Monsignor James M. Reardon, 5th rector of the Basilica, 1921 to 1963. The building is included in the National Register of Historic Places designation conferred in 1975 on the Basilica Church and campus. Contact info. Address: Basilica of Saint Mary, 88 North 17th Street, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55403, United States. Website: www.mary.org. How to reach the Basilica? The nearest airport to Shattuck St. Mary's is Minneapolis Airport, which is 40.3 miles away. Other nearby airports include Rochester, 47.1 miles, Mason City, 80 miles, and La Crosse, 103.9 miles. The nearby light rail stations to the Basilica is Warehouse District, Hennepin Avenue and Target Field Station. If you wish to know more about Catholic shrine basilicas, Marian shrines and Marian apparitions, subscribe to our Catholic Shrine Basilica YouTube channel. Like and share with your loved ones. For more churches, website www.catholicshrinebasilica.com.